Life can change in the blink of an eye. One phone call, one accident, one diagnosis, one loss, a miscarriage, a cheating spouse, a fire, losing your job, losing your house. One moment, and your entire life looks different. And honestly, owning a business is no different. Welcome back to Crumbcake Chaos. I'm Carrie Shelley, mom of 4 and 2 angel babies, entrepreneur, side hustle queen, and someone who has learned that life can change completely overnight. Life changes fast. We live like we have time. Time to fix things, time to chase dreams, time to say what we need to say. But life changes fast. 1 minute, things feel normal. And the next, everything is different. People's lives change every single day in ways they never saw coming. And sometimes those changes aren't good. And sometimes they're really magical. And sometimes those changes are painful and devastating. Death, loss, divorce, miscarriage, losing a home, losing stability. Real life doesn't care if you were ready. Not even a little bit. Sometimes life changes before you have time to process the life you already had. A few weeks ago, 2 local boys lost their lives in a car accident. One was 18 and the other was either 16 or 17. Tragic, horrible. One simple accident changed so many lives forever. My son's friend was fine one day and the next fighting for his life with a rare cancer diagnosis that now has him in hospice, leaving 2 one-year-old twins behind, and he's not even 30. My sister's husband, 1 minute was fine, and the next has stage 4 cancer that has flipped their lives upside down. They are going to doctor's appointments and they have medical bills and work schedules had to be changed to care for him. He needs to have care now. There's cancer treatments and they have to plan for the inevitable. 2 miscarriages, one that almost took my life and the other that left a hole so deep in my heart that I'm not sure there's a mend. a family member's fire that burned a house to the ground and every belonging that they had, and it left them homeless for a long time. Injuries that leave you unable to work or even function. You get out of the bathtub and slip, and you have to have surgeries your entire life that were supposed to leave you paralyzed. Gambling that leaves you mortgaging your house, a pain pill that turns into a lifelong addiction. All of these things can happen in the blink of an eye and change your life forever. But sometimes it's not always bad either. A pregnancy, you win the lottery, you get a new car. There's a lot of different things. And business owners, we live our lives in uncertainty. And if you own a business, you live on a nice little roller coaster ride. One bad week can make you panic. And one good week can completely change everything. One viral post. You could go unnoticed for 12 years and then all of a sudden you got lines out the door because of one post. One celebrity customer. One huge order. Sometimes one order is the difference between paying the rent and wondering if you have to cash out your 401k. And people don't understand that pressure unless they've lived it. The emotional swings, you can ask my husband, they're wild. The stress, the uncertainty. 1 minute, you are ready to quit. You are done. And the next minute, you're dreaming bigger than you ever have. One email from Camden Yards asking if you're interested in making desserts can turn into orders so big that you have enough business to finally open your storefront. One phone call from a local restaurant can turn into a 15-year business relationship with some of the greatest people. And honestly, that's exactly where I have been recently. If you didn't notice, I disappeared for a few weeks. Sorry, guys. A few weeks ago, I was praying for answers. Business just wasn't where I wanted it to be or needed it to be. And I thought maybe my life was meant to go in a different direction. I was praying for direction. I was praying for change, praying for a way to increase the bakery's income. Because I was at a point where I didn't know what the answer was anymore. Am I done? Do I close the bakery and go after other dreams? Do I get a full-time job and still keep the bakery? Do I close the bakery, get a full-time job? Do I go get a part-time job? Do I get another side hustle? Because I now might need another one. I was exhausted, mentally especially, but physically too. I hit burnout. And when you own a business, people don't always realize how heavy that pressure gets. Because everyone sees the storefront, the cakes, the posts, the smiles we put on our faces, and they just assume it's good. They don't see the fear, the numbers, the stress, the nights you lay awake trying to figure it out, the fights you're having with your significant other because you're so stressed out and you're mentally just checked out. And then, completely out of nowhere, an opportunity fell into my lap. And I knew in my gut that this was my answer. A video from one of the local cake supply stores popped up. And I never see their stuff. I literally opened up Facebook and it just popped up. First thing I saw. And this guy, man, he's a character. He's on there basically telling everyone, if you don't come buy from me, we're going to be closing like the Cake Cottage is closing. What? What? What do you mean the Cake Cottage is closing? No way. That's not possible. This store has been around for 49 years. I've been there so many times over the years. I even bought my ribbon for my first wedding, the like engraved ribbon from there. We're talking like 2003, like what or yeah, 2003. Whew, forgot what year it was. Like they can't be closing. I go on their Facebook page, and sure enough, we might be closing if we don't find a solution. And if anyone is interested in buying the store, send us a message. Something in my gut said, send the message, and I did. I literally was like, hey, interested. What's going on? Need some details. And almost immediately, give me a call tomorrow. Had no idea. Absolutely none. How I could even make that work. If I could make that work. Can I afford another business? Here I am talking about closing this one and now I'm looking at another business. What in the hell? Where in the hell am I going to get the kind of money to buy a business? But I sent it anyway. I had questions. And within 24 hours, me and the owner had a conversation. And it was getting deeper. And I talked to my husband and I decided I'm just going to make an offer. And I didn't have what she was asking for. And getting a loan right now wasn't an option for me. So I put it out there. I can give you a deposit. And what if I make payments? And I thought, this is going to work. It has to work because I just know it was meant to be. I know it. And here we are, 3 weeks later. Papers are signed. The entire business has moved. Licenses are done. And I own 2 businesses. Holy shit. Holy shit. How did it happen? And how did it happen that fast? I blinked my eyes and it all came together. And you know what? I'm so freaking excited about this venture. And while the last 3 weeks have been madness and we have been exhausted, we have moved and packed and unpacked so much stuff. And there's so much more to unpack. And we opened the new store 2 days after we moved it. We're digging through bags and boxes trying to find things. Customers are pouring in the door looking for things. We're running around like chickens with our heads cut off. But it feels great. Under the sweat, blood, tears, and exhaustion, it feels great. And I'm doing all this still with a broken foot. And we're running Wine Village, which is downtown. I'm running a booth 5 days a week. The same person who was questioning everything a few weeks ago has now opened a second full blown business. And now I'm running around in my own damn chaos, planning and organizing, building inventory, buying inventory, preparing, trying to get systems and processes, trying to get a flow, new employees. We're preparing because this isn't just another side hustle. It's another business. Life can go from how am I going to survive this to how am I going to manage all of this real fast. And I think sometimes we panic because we can't see what's next. But maybe things are shifting behind the scenes before we can even see them. Sometimes your breakthrough shows up right after your breaking point. So, if you're in that season right now where you feel stuck, scared, uncertain, don't give up too soon because your entire life could change tomorrow. One moment can change everything. A few weeks ago, I was praying for answers. Today, I'm preparing for an entirely new chapter that I never in a million years saw coming. Wasn't even a glimmer. That's how fast life can change. The scary part about life is everything can change overnight. But the beautiful part, everything can change overnight. Don't quit in the middle of the chapter that could change your life. And if you're in a season where you're struggling, keep going. Pray. Ask for an answer. Dig for some hope and faith. Don't be afraid to ask for what you want, even if you think it's crazy. Closed mouths don't get fed. Your breakthrough might be closer than you think. As always, if you ever need help, advice, an ear to listen to, I'm just a message away. If you guys can take a second to like and subscribe and share this podcast, it helps me help others. You never know who might need this particular episode. Thanks for being part of the Carrie Chaos with me. And remember, when life gets crummy, there's something sweet to look forward to. I hope you guys have an amazing day.